Do you agree that, it's time that we all wake up and take responsibility, even for our ancestors that did not know any better?
Been waiting patiently to have this kind of conversation. Well, it's Wake Up with KC, and today I have a multifaceted talent. And you know me, I love the arts. I love music, photography, videography, beats, music creation. And I came across this wonderful and amazing talent, Michael uh, Squid's Killing It with Killinitproductions, joining us today. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, I'm always fascinated with multi-talented, multifaceted talents such as yourself. And can you share with the audience, what is it that you do? And how did you discover this was your passion?
Okay. So my name's Squid's Killing It. I started out as a DJ in high school, and my name back then was Neon Squid. And when I got to college, I discovered there's another DJ in the UK called Neon Squid Autopsy, and so I changed my name to completely, get away from that. And I wasn't quite sure what to call myself, and I was also in the process of changing my Xbox Live gamer tag. So I was like, well, all my friends call me Squids on there, and I'm always killing it. So Squid's Killing It sounds great. And it wasn't taken. And lo and behold, it was not taken anywhere on the planet. So I decided to rock that name as a DJ. And it wasn't until about 2 years after college that I was like, okay, I'm really into, dubstep, EDM and stuff like that. And I could totally make that type of music because I've done music my whole life. I started out with the trumpet in third grade and kind of just progressed on from there, kind of kept playing the trumpet for about 6 years. Then I moved on to playing drums and the piano and guitar, bass guitar, things of that nature. And it was just like, music is really cool. And I was going to college to be an English teacher because in high school I wasn't the greatest student. I felt like I was just mostly misunderstood, but I was in such a small town that I kind of got canceled out, and it was just like, all right, well, you're too much for anybody here to handle, so we're gonna send you to a boys' home. And I always thought that was the wrong move, but obviously nobody listens to the kid, and so I wanted to be an English teacher to help at-risk youth such as myself to be understood and help them find outlets to things that they wanted. And I got my associates, and I was just like, I don't really want to do it that way. Music has helped me through a lot of hard times. Whether it's hip hop artists or just lo-fi music or, just elevator music, even, it's just whatever you need to just sit and think and, help yourself. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do music production, and I want to help people through my music as, because I can reach more people with my music than I could as being a teacher. So I just kind of started doing a lot more music production. And with that, comes music videos, right? That's how you get a lot of recognition anymore, is music videos. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't pay someone to make me a music video, so I'm going to learn how to make music videos. And so I was able to save up enough money to buy a decent camera, which is the one I'm using right now. and start a videography business. That was like, okay, I want to help my community. I know a lot of artists in the community. I can do video editing and things like that. So I want to be a videographer for them for their music videos. And with that comes, obviously photography, because you got a nice camera, you might as well try and capitalize on every avenue that you can. So I started a photography business as well. And through gaining all this equipment, you have to have microphones and pianos and things like that in order to do this stuff. I was just like, my friend actually, he was like, hey, do you want to do a podcast? And I was like, sure. I have the equipment. I don't see why not, So that's how Next to the Lamp was created, which is the podcast that I have also.
And when did you start the podcast?
April 1st, 2019.
Wow. And you're on how many platforms?
I think all of them.
All of them.
Yeah. At least Amazon, Google Play,
Yeah.
Samsung Play, Spotify, Deezer, Podnods, and Stitcher.
Okay. And when you first started creating your podcast, you've opened up a whole nother opportunity of networking with other people's to also help you with, creating more music and more videos. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. Ultimately, I started the podcast because it was just me and my co-host, and him and I are amateur comedians of sorts. So we just like to go on there and say funny things and stuff like that. And then the evolution of it was he started being more busy with work and stuff like that. So I needed to be able to create content with other guests, and that's kind of how the interview process of my podcast started. And I like to get to know people more on like a personal level, rather than just like what they do for a business. So I feel like I have a genuine human connection with a lot of people, and getting to know them has been, what has helped me through a lot, even since starting the podcast. We had like a 6-month stint where we didn't do anything. I didn't talk to anybody. We didn't do podcasts. I didn't do, music or anything like that. And I talked to this producer called Kato on the Track, and he's done a lot of things with like NF, Cardi B, Wu-Tang. Like he's a really great producer in the hip hop industry these days. And one of my favorite rappers, Jaron Benton, Joyner Lucas, like all those guys have worked with Kato. And he was like, even if it's bad, put it out there. See what kind of constructive criticism you can get from people, because, obviously you'll have people that don't like it and will just say bad things about it. Or you'll have people that do kind of like it and they will tell you how to fix it. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I just started putting out almost everything I started doing.
Well, then again, would it be safe to say, like, how would you know unless you tried?
Right.
You think that that's what a lot of people that holds them back, because they'll think, oh yeah, it's a great idea. I want to do this. I want to do that. But they never take action. They don't learn the skill to be able to do what it is their heart and soul desire is. So they stay stuck and miserable. And then it's the, oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that. I could have done that. It's like making excuses of not to, so they feel better about themselves, but they're not truly feeling better. They continue staying stuck.
Yeah. Joyner Lucas has lyrics in this song that says, I believe I can fly. I also believe anything can be achieved when applied.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you're doing the work and you're trying, you'll probably get there and you'll probably do it. I've been a man of my word, and if I say I'm going to do it, then I got to do it.
Right. And would you, like, in your journey, from create, like, you started, these are stepping stones in from what I'm what you shared with us. You took a passion and love for music. So you started playing instruments. Then from the instruments playing, you started creating, music production, putting it in, putting everything together to create the masterpiece for the music piece. Then you tapped into video, giving the visualization of music. And you had to learn about the camera. You had everything, you had to gain the skill in order to achieve what it is that you first thought of.
Right.
And then you led into podcasting. Now your podcast is just opened up into a whole nother way along. So everything for you was just a stepping stone to help you evolve and learn and grow and expand. And who knows where your podcast is going to go, or what other clients that want to use you, probably to DJ, do a music video, or, music production. So you have all those facets available to you.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of just working on my own things and getting my recognition through the way I do it. And I really do hope that people recognize that and will, offer, to have me, perform their things or make their videos. Recently, I just started going out to my local area and was just like going to businesses that I like to go to, that I'm going to anyway, and just like, hey, I can make you a promo video and you can spread the word that way, just to get things moving a little bit better, especially in my town. And I have a couple clients lined up, so that's pretty nice.
Well, share with the audience where you're from.
Yeah, so I'm
really understand what you mean when you say that.
Yeah, I'm from Wyoming. I take a lot of pride in my state because there's a lot of different things here. I live in a college town. I live in Laramie, so the University of Wyoming is here, and we have so many different cultures, and it's like a melting pot of political stuff as well as just spiritual stuff. So it's kind of a hotbed for kind of like where we are, and we're only two hours north of Denver, and that's where a lot of comedians and musicians go. Like, they say Denver is like one of the best places that they've performed at. So we're also right on the Interstate 80, which is like the most traveled interstate in the whole country. So getting people to stop has been pretty easy.
Oh, wow. I thought the turnpike in 995 was the most traffic in that. I think it's 10, going from East Jacksonville all the way over to California. So that was, mind-blowing for me to travel on I-10 and then see it flooded from Harvey. That was another thing. So yeah, the life is a highway kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Interstate 80 goes from New York to California also, or Oregon. One of those two.
And would you agree that, life is an adventure, and you're the one that, is the creator of it?
Yes. I've always kind of believed that you are your own destiny. Whatever you want to do, you got to find a way to make it happen. It's like, if I had fulfilled a lot of people's predictions about me, then I would probably be in jail right now, and I wouldn't be doing anything. But I decided to go the high road and keep a full-time job and, work on the other avenues that I want to work on to eventually achieve what I want to do, rather than waking up every day to not like what I do.
Well, wouldn't you agree? It's a mindset, a limited belief based on, what was taught in our upbringing, through our parents, through society, even through religion. You got to be this way. You got to do this. You got to dress this way. You got to go to school, get good grades, get a good job. And that's like a belief that they believe that they just passed on, to us until we wake up. Hold up a second. That might have worked for you, but that's not working for me. I want to do something that I want to do, that I love to do.
Yeah.
And there's truth about, when you do what you love, it's not a job.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work. That's for sure. Especially if you're going into, a multimedia company, like I have. It's a multimedia company. Obviously, it's got 5 different avenues for media. You got music, podcasting, just radio show, because that's another thing that you can do with podcasting. Photography, videography, like you can do anything with videography. And I mostly created the business so I could buy things I wanted and write them off.
Yeah, they're a business expense.
Yep. Yep. When you have a multimedia company, almost anything can be a business expense. I want to travel to Japan and take pictures of, this model during the apple blossom season, and like that can all be a company write-off because I took 4 or 5 pictures while I was there.
Right. And so let me ask you, during this journey, and especially, with this pandemic thing, how did you reinvent yourself to continue in your production company?
Because when you go from employee to business owner to entrepreneur, there's a certain mindset that you have to have, and the mindset is, this is gonna work. This is going to make money. This is going to be profitable. This is going to be successful. If you don't believe that from the start, then I'm not saying you won't be successful, but it's going to be a lot more difficult in order to achieve what you want to do. I have recently just started telling myself, like, okay, you're awesome. You can do things that, other people say you can't do. And I am set out to do those things that people said I couldn't do. So, see, you kind of have to reinvent yourself that way. Just be like, okay, because in high school I was kind of a loser. I had a couple of friends and they were also losers. So, you surround yourself with. So, kind of just been doing my own thing for quite a bit now, and it's been working out great.
Wow. And a lot of times when you're told like you're stupid, you're a loser, those are just somebody's projections on how they honestly feel about them. They're projecting it out on you, and it's just their opinion, and it's just words that, because I grew up being bullied, and I've been called some names and experienced some things. And it's how we choose to react, respond, and choose to believe what other people say. And do you agree that that's a lot of times what holds us back because of that?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I wasn't guilty of it also. I never thought that I would, be doing the things that I'm doing because of, those negative people and those negative experiences that I've had. Just like, I'm from, small town Laramie. I graduated from an even smaller town. The town I graduated from only has 400 people in it, and 100 of that was kids, and 40 of that was kids from 8th grade to 12th grade. And to move to a town that has, 15,000 people when the school's not in, to 30,000 people when school is in session, like a lot another, it's very unlikely that someone like me will, break out, be part of the succession, part of the story. But at some point you have to tell yourself, this is my story. Y'all are just a character in it.
Yes, I agree with you. And then you mentioned earlier about, that you told yourself that, this will work. You're going to make it work. You've learned from other successful people. Who are your mentors that help change your mindset?
Honestly, it's a lot of my mentors are hip hop artists, especially the independent ones. Like around the time 2010, 2011, we had independent artists like Tech Nine and Chris Calico, and they were the #1 selling independent artists in the world. They did a song with B.O.B. and Hobson. And Hobson, I'd never heard of before. The song's called Am I a Psycho? And I learned that he pretty much did everything solo until he created his record label called Funk Volume. And for those of you out there who don't know what Funk Volume is, they were an awesome record label made up of like 5 independent artists that constantly rapped about how they did it independent and they didn't listen to anybody and they kept with their own views and their own style and they're making it. And now Hobson, like his music videos get a couple million views on the day it's released, so a lot of their lyrics were just like, do what you want to do and you'll, be happy pretty much. And when I talked to that Kato producer, he was signed by Funk Volume. And then when Funk Volume split up, they, for creative differences, he started his own tour called Sound Advice Tour, and where he would go to people's places and he would tell these independent producers, such as myself, that's just how I got to know him, was, you can do anything, just keep doing it. Consistency is key, especially when you're trying to do something like on your own like this. If you stay consistent and you keep practicing, eventually you'll be great and people will want to buy your product essentially. So and Joyner Lucas is another independent artist that has made it really big. He has done songs with Eminem, Jaron Benton, like Hobson, like he's done songs with Tech Nine, like a lot of people. And he was pretty much told the same things, that he couldn't do it and make it. And a lot of his songs are about how he did make it.
Also, each artist has their own personal story, which is the message.
Yeah, I put a lot of my things into music, a lot of my emotions, a lot of my beliefs, all of that goes into my music. So to continue to do that and explain to these, that's all I want to do essentially, is I want to help my community by bringing more money into it and just giving it away. I've lived off 20, even less than 20K before a year, even less than 20K a year before. So, as long as I can make that, I guess I'll be happier.
Well, wouldn't you agree that sometimes some of the beliefs that we have, hinder us, and like things are constantly changing and evolving, but if you're still stuck in these old beliefs and this old system, the new stuff can't come in and you're stuck while everything else is changing and evolving. So would you agree that we got to change the way we think and what we believe in order to go with the change? And when we change ourselves, actually heal from, traumas and, the beliefs and the programming and whatnot, we're also helping change, collectively. Would you agree?
Yeah, because I feel like, the more people that are happier doing what they do, they won't be, talking negatively to people that are doing what they want to do, Um, Chris Webby is another artist I listen to a lot of, and he has this song called So Free. And in that song, he states, those who mind don't matter, and to those who matter don't mind. So, you got to disregard what, the haters say, as they put that in the industry. And the ones that do matter, they don't care anyway. So just keep doing what you want to do, and, make at least somewhat of the right decisions, and, carry yourself to hopefully help other people later.
Well, do you agree that music can be therapeutic and healing?
Yeah, um, you know, I'm not going to say I haven't ever been depressed or anything like that, but I have been, even more so as of lately than, you know, previously. But you just kind of figure it away, and the music that I listen to, Joyner Lucas has a song called I'm Sorry that I listen to when I'm feeling like really, really bad. And I don't know why it makes me feel better, because it's ultimately about someone committing suicide, and him talking to that person in their casket while they're dead. And I don't know why, but that helps me so much, because it's just like, these are the things that these people would want to say to you if you had done something like that. So I just keep pushing, and, let these people say what they want to me, to my face.
Wow, that's very heartfelt. And, from my understanding about music and, being a former or retired massage therapist, I learned about chakras and Reiki and energy. And with every chakra, there's a note. So when I hear music, instrumental playing, it resonates with each of our chakras, and it can provide healing elements or it can block them. So I make it a point, after when I studied and resonated with me of what I was listening to and whatnot, I stopped. And I'm an 80s girl. I liked, also the disco era, the roller skating era, and then you got the 80s rock and roll, hip hop, then you got the early 90s, dance music and whatnot. So I paid attention to certain songs and what mood, like you said, you were depressed. You did this I'm Sorry song, was it? Well, when I start feeling down, I'm like, what can I listen that will shift my energy and lift me up?
Cotton Eye Joe every single time.
Cotton Eye Joe. I know how to dance to that, by the way. Oh, I honestly get like my Trinier friends. Lookout Weekends, Here We Come. Jam on It. And then lately I came across Feeling Good by Michael Bublé.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
let me tell you something, that shifts my energy, and I feel like my chakras are moving now, and then just things are more pleasant. I get these right opportunities that these people just show up with a good message, a positive message, inspiration, oh, I got an extra tip. Not even just being in that now and feeling like abundance, joy, happiness, and just staying in that state of being as long as I can. And everything shifts around me. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like, in a way, music is my religion. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
well,
I know how that goes for sure.
so there is a connection with us with music. Would that be safe to say in truth?
Well, yeah. I mean, music wouldn't have such an like as huge of an impact as it is if it wasn't for the human connection. I mean, if we think about even in the early 80s, mid 80s when hip hop was starting, there was um a lot of artists that were, tired of being repressed in the hood, and that was their one way of speaking out about it. And there was ultimately more people that felt the same way, so they connected to it. And that's how an artist, makes their money, is because they make that human connection with people that, it resonates with, and they will ultimately listen to it forever. Like, I'm Sorry came out like 5 years ago, and I still listen to it, all the time. So it's like, when you have a good artist, they know how to get that human connection, and they know how to display their feelings in a way that you can relate.
Well, do you also think that there's possibly, when you send, there's positive energy and negative energy, right? Positive behavior from, human beings, and there's negative behavior with human beings. Does music also do the same thing?
Of course. Um, there is this artist from Canada named Sunreel. He has this song called "For the Town," and that song is about how people told him he would never do it, but now he's doing it, and he's running around his town like he owns the place, and he's doing it for his town. So that would be like the positive aspect of the hip hop. Um, and then obviously they have the negative that um, NWA was they had a lot of negative songs, but a lot of it was aimed at repression. So a lot of people identify with both.
Mhm.
F the police. A lot of people identify with that.
Right.
So
I remember a certain song, Bad Boys, what you gonna do when they come for you?
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So
And that sticks in your head, and then you're starting to dance to it, like bad boy.
yeah,
Uh, but you know, knowing what I know, energetically, emotionally, and what's been happening, you know, what do you think is changing with music in that aspect as well?
so if we look at the evolution of, um, I talk a lot about hip hop because I'm a hip hop producer, and I study it all the time, and I listen to lyrics, I listen to the production of it. So generally, if you're going to have a happy song, it's going to be in a major scale. If you're going to have a sad song, it's going to be a minor scale. And if we look at the evolution, it started out as that negative thing, and then kind of traversed into more of like inner personal things, and then it moved on to, in the early 2000s, it was about money and women and stuff like that, and that kind of stuck with it. You still have songs here and there that are about those types of things. If you have a good artist, then they're gonna write about everything. So they'll have a song about that. They'll have a song about breaking up with a girlfriend. They'll have a song about hooking up with a girlfriend. And they'll just be at different aspects. But if we look at the way hip hop is today, a lot of it is more upbeat and happier, as opposed to the way it started. So
Wow.
yeah, it's all dependent on what people like ultimately, because everyone's trying to chase that human connection, especially if you're an artist. because it's that human connection that makes you more popular.
And then would you agree that like in every generation that it just changes the genre and the vibe it throughout generations? It just keeps changing and evolving music?
Yeah, I mean, if we think about even society, the way it's evolving, the music kind of follows the way society evolves. You know, like there's a lot of people that are just internet famous now, you know, and they're making money doing TikTok videos and stuff like that. So they need upbeat, happy music to do these TikTok dances to. And, you know, who's going to write that? Well, you better write that or you're going to be irrelevant, right? So that's that. I was surprised about how even just TikTok changed the music industry.
Right.
Because like if somebody plays your song on TikTok and it gets 1 million views, then you're getting TikTok royalties for those views.
Wow.
So if we take the example of, do you know who Dogfaced 420 is?
No, but I know what 420 is.
Yeah, so Dogface 420 was a TikTok creator who his truck broke down on the side of the road. He had a skateboard and he had cranberry juice, and he had to skateboard to work. And while he was skateboarding to work, he put the song
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac's song on it, and that got so many views and so many things that it actually put Fleetwood Mac at the top of the Billboard charts again, because so many people were looking it up and listening to that song.
Oh.
So Ocean Spray gave him a new truck, and Fleetwood Mac paid for, I think he had some doctor bills or something like that. But yeah, they gave him some money for the royalties for their music that he helped spread the word for. And they hadn't been on the top charts for like 40 years before that. And then they just came back and were like, hey, we're doing tours again.
Wow. I remember a story from Toby Keith about that Rolo cup, the red solo cup or something. He made a song out of it. Well, then the company was going to sue him for using that, but then they backed out because all of a sudden they were going, if my understanding is, through bankruptcy, but they pulled out of the course because everybody started buying the cups again. So they went all-time sales. So they were like, no, we're good. You can continue on with that song, because it became a hit and everybody started buying those red cups.
Yeah. So, I mean, society and culture, you know, they find a way to make even the worst people famous. I mean, if you look at Bad Baby, right? She was, you know, Cash Me Outside chick, right?
Oh, that one.
Yes. So she does Cash Me Outside. The internet makes her famous. T-Pain's like, hey, if you ever wanted to be a rapper, you have a lot of clout right now. You know, you're really famous, so maybe you can make music as well. And so she was like, yeah, you know, I can try to make music. And so when you surround yourself with these successful people that know how to do this stuff, you can make anything, you know, good. And essentially that's what she did. She went from music, and then as soon as she turned 18, she got an OnlyFans page. That day made $6 million in just OnlyFans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for her.
Society's crazy, especially if they're just pervy dudes.
Well, because I think the younger generation is waking up to the fact that, no, I don't want to get a job. Look at what my parents went through and what they're, you know, they couldn't take vacations. And to me, honestly, it's the slavery today is being an employee. It's just modern day slavery.
Yeah, there have been comparisons to that, but it's kind of hard, you know, because like Where would a colony of bees be without the employees? You know, where would society be if we didn't have, you know, people that were just doing the everyday jobs? You know, it sucks.
But here's the thing. I can understand, yeah, you work, but you got to understand that employees are the valuable asset to any corporation and business. So if you treat them right, you're going to gain more profits. But when you got greed mindset and power and manipulation and control, you're going to struggle in business. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, that's definitely a difficult thing because most of the time you have somebody that, you know, did work a lot and now they're a manager and they're like, well, I had to do this, so you have to do this too. And it's like, well, you know, you need to kind of have that parent mindset of like, okay, I had the struggle. I want things to be better for my kids, so I'm not going to let them struggle like I did. And a lot of managers, a lot of people don't feel that way when they get there. You know, they're like, I'm going to be a good boss. And then they're just like, yeah, no, I gave up on that almost as soon as I got the title, and I don't like people. So you're in for
that
it.
profession. Hello, get out.
Yeah, yeah. So I understand where that's coming from, but ultimately, like, that's why I want to do what I want to do, so I can tell people that I don't want to work with them, or I do want to work with them. I don't want to just have to work for anybody and everybody, you know?
Right. So wouldn't you agree? And it would be safe to say, like, you better learn how to get your money working for you. Work smart, not hard.
Yeah, invest in cryptos, baby. Invest in cryptos.
Learn how to invest. There's
Yeah.
e-commerce sites. You know, start small. And if you don't know how to do something, learn this skill. There's so many tutorials out there. There's so many online courses out. Instead of video gaming all the time, take a break, learn a new skill. Because like you said earlier in our conversation, you learned about, you know, other successful mentors, be consistent. You know, they also said be consistent because you're building momentum for something. They're looking at a later date, that future success. In order to get that to come into the now and present, you have to be consistent. Delayed gratification, not instant gratification. So
Yeah.
would that be safe to say that that's what we've got to learn how to do now?
Well, I don't hate the gaming grind because you need to learn how to make that a business in order to be successful doing it. If you're just playing video games and you don't have really anything off of it, you know, because like I was a game streamer for a while, and um, you know, you can, once you get a following, make t-shirts, make hats, make whatever, make merchandise that have your brand. Create your gaming brand. Everything that anybody's ever done has been a brand. You know, Walmart, that's a brand. AutoZone, that's a brand. Chris Webby, that's a brand. He's got ADHD, is the brand. You know, like, make your brand, push your product, believe you can do it, be successful. Then once you start getting that actual income, invest, make your money work for you. Invest in, you know, you can do cryptos, or you can do just regular stock market stuff, or you can do 401ks, or you can do whatever. You just got to make sure that you have all your bases covered in order to be a successful person, if you want to go by the standard definition of successful for people. I don't know what I don't know what my definition of success is, but I would like to say it is being self-sufficient and doing what I like to do, and being, you know, profitable doing it. Unfortunately, this world takes money. Money doesn't mean anything. It's just a tangible thing that people can put monetary value on. you know? So when you get into things like, I keep coming back to cryptos, but it's like one of the most emerging things that we can invest in that you can be successful in. The person that bought 100 Bitcoin 10 years ago, when it's now $53,000 per Bitcoin, like that's a millionaire.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that you can do, study trends.
Well, learn the software program that you want to start with.
Yeah. Yeah. Educate
I
yourself.
did that, and I was like, well, what do I do now? I got all this set up. So how does this work? So now I have to go back and relearn some things. And so it's all gaining a skill, and everything, in life is okay. Now you talked about money, and there is a relationship with money and a belief about money that holds us, prisoner of being able to have abundant more of money. Because I was brought up in the religion, and there was a Bible scripture that said money is the root of all evil. And I'm like, well, how in the world is that possible? Because King Solomon was rich.
Yeah.
And they said even Jesus Christ was rich. So this is contradicting information.
And y'all ask for my money every Sunday, and guess what?
Right.
Yeah. Y'all just collecting evil. Y'all just collecting evil.
So I'm just like, that doesn't sit well with me. That doesn't even resonate with me. And then I see, like Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, and others that are, there's trillionaires out there that give their money away. You got Bill Gates. They give money away. And it's a tax write-off.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they give, and to help. So I'm like, that's a lie. Money's not the root of all evil. It's what you do with it. What your intentions and energy. If this was a $100 bill, right? Okay. You know what? I'm going to have food today. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like you're giving good vibes to, oh, you know what? I have this extra $100 bill. I just want to give it to, Michael, I help him with his business so it succeeds. Because then the more I give, then it has to come back. That's the law of the universe. Give and receive.
Yeah, that's why, I live in the poorest county. Albany County is the poorest county in Wyoming. And before the pandemic in 2019, I partnered with this group called Laramie Interfaith, and we stood outside grocery stores and we gave people a list, like, here's things that you can buy that we need, and they would, buy turkeys, and they would, donate it to us, and they would buy, pretty much everything for a Thanksgiving meal. And when they come, we actually gave away like 419 meals to families that needed it around our county. And we did almost the same numbers for Christmas. And I was just like, there can't be like this many people that need this kind of help, even just in my community, but there are. And that's ultimately why I wanted to make money, was so I could create other avenues to help people.
Yes. And I think it's really deep down on a soul level, it's already innate with us. And along with that, it's remembering who we are and why we came here in the first place.
Yeah, I came from the bottom. My parents are still not financially secure. They have never been great with anything like that. We moved around a lot when I was a kid, so I never really got to have friends, so like once a year I'd be, at a different school, meeting new people, getting my ass kicked, because I was the new kid, and then moving on to the next place and starting it all over again. So that's when I was just like, all right, not everyone could be like this.
No,
I gotta find those people.
but however, I mean, it's not your parents' fault because they didn't have a good mentor, a good teacher.
Yeah, I can't blame them. My mom's mom was a real mean lady. She always told my mom that she wouldn't really be anything but a housewife and that she couldn't do anything like that. So don't even try to do anything more with your life. And so that's pretty much what my mom did. She was a housewife and raised us kids, which are what there were 4 of us. And she worked, and that was pretty much it. Worked and housewifed. So yeah, it's all pretty much what you believe yourself, and I have recently, like, she's been getting into arts and crafts lately, so I'm like, hey, I can teach you how to make this a business. Let's make this a business so you can be a little bit more self-sufficient, so you can have somewhat of a passive income doing what you like to do.
And
so
how is she on that?
she's doing good. She gets like fishbowl type things, right? And then she makes like little Christmas villages in there, and then she sells them online.
Wow, good for her. I wish her the best of success in that. And it just sort of light a fire in her.
Yeah.
She discovered where she was passionate, and that's totally transformed her life. And the little thing you helped plant a seed by offering to help her be self-sufficient, creating her own reality and manifesting. So that's awesome. That is like an amazing story right there. I'm like so proud of her. Yay, mom.
yeah. And it I would like to say that it probably wasn't possible without my help, because none of my other siblings are really have the entrepreneurial mindset. It's like, just do what you like to do and figure out a way to get paid for it, And so I showed her how to make an Instagram page, and showed her how to make a website, and like all this other stuff. Like, this is all stuff I had to learn in order to do what I'm doing. So I can help you learn this stuff so you can be successful doing what you want to do. And she just turned 55 this year, 56 this year.
Wow. And now she's really loving life.
Yeah. She has a new fiance, and they do things together all the time. They travel the woods. They're on a vacation now. It's just like a 3-week vacation that they took just to visit his family and her family in other parts of the country and stuff like that. So they're having fun.
Good for her. And good for you. Yeah, that's like very touching, Michael. That's like, yes.
Yeah, I know.
And feel good that you're, and you could see the transformation in their life. That's what I'm all about. That's why I started this podcast, to help people wake up. You don't have to stay stuck in the program, the limited beliefs. We're all divine beings. We are, like you said earlier, the master of our destiny and the captain to our soul. And if we don't like our experience, we're the only ones that can save ourselves. Nobody else can save you but you. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Great saying.
Yep. I totally agree. And I've kind of just been following that this whole time. Just like, all right, it's got to be up to me. Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else. I mean, people will pay me to work for them, sure, but it's definitely not going to be as much money as they're making. So I want to make my own money. And pretty much once you start doing things like that, you print your own money. So that, I mean, it's not illegal because people are giving it to you. But, however they got their money, that's a different story. But they're giving it to you, and, you're making a difference with it. So, and that's what I'm doing. I'm helping my community. And because every 50% of the profits I get from podcasting, music production, selling my beats, videography, photography, all of that stuff goes to a charity of the month. And that charity of the month is different depending on the month. Memorial Day, it goes to that whole month. It goes to veterans and people in need in their situations like that. Mother's Day, we have a nonprofit in town called Climb Wyoming, and they take single moms and they give them the education to do things like word processing or clerical work or welding or literally anything that the single mother wants to learn how to do. They provide childcare during these times, and they do a lot of stuff that way. So that whole month of that Mother's Day goes to Climb Wyoming, things like that.
Wow, that's amazing. And thank you for doing that. I appreciate you.
I do it because I want to.
And it feels better when you want to do something and you're able to do it. And the little seeds that you're planting, Michael, is making a difference. You might not be told it all the time, every time, but just know deep down you are making a difference. Keep going. And I wish you the best of success. Thank you for joining us today. And for the audience listening, I hope this helps you change your mind.
Yep. Change your mind and change your life.
And dream big and stay consistent and persistent and just believe that you can.
Yep. It's great. You can do anything you want to.
Yes, you can. You just got to believe.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Michael. It was a pleasure having you on the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was definitely fun, and I don't talk about myself often, so it's kind of different.
Yeah, isn't it? Have a wonderful week.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Well, there you go, on a heartfelt, transformational story. And you can be whoever you want to be and do whatever you want to do. It just starts with believing in yourself. Be consistent and persistent. You never know who I'm going to have on my show, so stay tuned.
Do you agree that, it's time that we all wake up and take responsibility, even for our ancestors that did not know any better?
Been waiting patiently to have this kind of conversation.